Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Aspiring IIScians Meet 2025, or we shortly call it AIM 2025. Thanks for joining us. So I'll introduce myself. I am Ananta Kantray, a PhD student in Department of ECE, and I am also associated with IEEE ISc student branch, which is one of the uh, a group hosting this event. Next with me is a teammate from ACM. Varivasha, can you just introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining. I'm Varivasha Palladi, a third year BTech student at IISc. I also happen to be the secretary of the IISc ACM student chapter, which is the other chapter co hosting this event. Thanks for introducing me.
Great. So now we have people from different departments, majorly from our EECS division, and then two more interdisciplinary divisions. So I'll ask them volunteers one by one to introduce themselves. So let's first start with CDS.
Yeah, so hi everyone. My name is Monil Shah, and I'm currently a first year MTech research student here at CDS department. So thank you so much for joining in for today's session. And if you have any queries, particularly related to CDS, feel free to ask me out.
Yeah, so hi everyone. Welcome to this meeting. So I'm Abhiksha Basu. I'm a fourth year PhD student at the Department of Computational and Data Sciences. And yeah, so like Monil said, so if anybody has any questions regarding PhD at CDS, please feel free to ask me questions.
So, hi everyone, I'm Vaishnavi. I'm currently a first year MTech research student at Robert Bosch Centre for Cyber Physical Systems. And if any one of you has any questions regarding MTech research program at CPS, you can ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Vaishnavi. Hi, everyone. Myself, Manoj Kumar. I'm pursuing my first year PhD in CPS department. I'm coming as an external registration program student, so I'm a sponsored candidate supported by my parent organization here. So if you're looking for any queries regarding that, I'd be glad to help. Thank you.
Great. Next is CSA.
Hello everyone, I am Ankush Ahilwar and I'm a second year MTech student and at CSA department, and I'm happy to answer your questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Ankush. Hi everyone, I'm Sriramji and I'm a first year PhD student in the Computer Science and Automation department, abbreviated as CSA. I'll be able to answer your questions with respect to doing a PhD at CSA.
EC.
I'm Avik Kaur, a fourth year PhD student at Department of Electrical Communication Engineering. If you have any query related to PhD at this particular department or in general PhD at IISc EECS, please feel free to ask me questions. Thanks.
Next is WE.
Hi everyone, I'm Nishant Shetty, a fourth year PhD student in the Department of Electrical Engineering. I started off as an MTech research student and upgraded to PhD. So if you have any questions that are related to the Department of Electrical Engineering, I'd be happy to take them on.
And last is ESE.
Hi everyone, this is Shankar Narayanan and I'm a third year PhD student in the Department of Electronic Systems Engineering. Feel free to ask if you have any queries with regards to a PhD in the Department of Electronic Systems Engineering, or if you want to know, get to know more about the stuff happening in the area of VLSI and embedded systems. Yeah, thank you.
So now we all have introduced ourselves. I think we are also like the organizers to introduce themselves. Gitanjali ma'am.
My name is Gitanjali. I work as Senior Editorial Assistant at the Division of EECS. I'm here to help in any way possible.
Thank you, ma'am. Dikshit?
My name is Dikshit. I am a technical assistant in ECE department. So I'm the one who is conducting this, hosting this meeting. So if you have any queries regarding the meeting, you can ask.
Now we are done with our round of introduction, and I think now participants can start posting their questions in the chat window. I can't see any questions as of now, so it would be good that they start posting their questions. Meanwhile, we have a small presentation or what are the courses and things at the EECS division. And after that, we'll start with the Q&A. So, Arivasha, you can start with the presentation. I'll just share my.
So once again, welcome to the Aspiring IIScians Meet called the AIM 2025. I'm Varivasha Palladi, a BTech student here, but also the secretary of the ACM student chapter here. We've organized this outreach event to tell you about the exciting opportunities at the various departments in the division of EECS at IISc. Ananta, could you please change the slide? Okay, so IISc started about 115 years ago. Through these years, because of its excellent faculty and its excellent students, and some of you will become such students, IISc has built a reputation as one of the best schools in India. In the National Institutional Ranking Framework, or NIRF India Rankings 2024, we are the number one in university rankings and the number one in the research category as well. If admitted, you will be coming to a top ranked institution in India. So, IISc is an institution of eminence, which has brought to us significant funding and enables us to become one of the best amongst in the world. We were one of the first institutions to earn this prestigious Institution of Eminence tag in India. The division of EECS is like a large electrical engineering and computer science and engineering departments put together. We actually have 4 departments within the division: Computer Science and Automation, CSA, Electrical Communication Engineering, ECE, Electrical Engineering, EE, and Electronic Systems Engineering, ESE. You can learn more about these by searching EECS ISC on the internet. Feel free to Google right now. The division has over 100 faculty members, over 300 PhD students, 400 plus master students, and 10 plus 2 MTech programs. The plus 2 includes an affiliated program at the Center for Cyber Physical Systems and the Department of Computational and Data Sciences, the CDS, which are in the Division of Interdisciplinary Sciences of IISc. I will now speak about our course and project-based degree programs. We have Electronic Systems Engineering, Electronic Product Design, Electronics and Communication Engineering, Computer Science and Engineering, and Electrical Engineering as our core programs running out of the individual departments. We also have joint programs such as the Signal Processing and Microelectronics and VLSI and Artificial Intelligence programs. In addition, we have the Robotics and Autonomous Systems from the closely related Center for Cyber Physical Systems, as mentioned before. The other MTech programs are offered by other departments of IISc. I have some EECS content and may also be of some interest to you. One of the key specialties of our MTech program is that every one of you will do a substantial project involving 1 year of research where you will work closely with your supervisor. So here are the posters providing a wealth of information about the EECS MTech programs. These have just been put up on our social media handles. You can just search for EECS IISc on X and LinkedIn. Feel free to take screenshots and zoom in and read because I know it takes some time to do that. Yeah. So this page has the details of the gate papers for each of the MTech programs. Once again, feel free to take a screenshot and come back to it, and feel free to answer any questions regarding the previous slide and this as well, particular to the departments. So since 2023, supernumerary seats have been included in the MTech course-based programs for women candidates. So under this scheme, if the number of approved offers for a program has fewer than 25% women, additional offers will be made to women candidates specifically, subject to the minimum GATE/CAM score/cutoff for the respective program that they're applying to. And yeah. So starting last year for our MTech programs, we have an admission possibility for those in centrally funded technical institutions, CFTI, as you may have heard. The CFTIs are all the IITs, NITs, IISers, triple ITs, and some triple ITs in public-private partnership. So if you have a CGPA of 8 or more, you're eligible to apply for admission to the following programs as listed here. In addition to the 12 MTech programs that we have, we run 2 flagship research programs in which each admitted student will submit a thesis for the degree. These are the MTech research and the PhD programs. BTech or MSc degree holders can also apply for the PhD program. If you aspire for a PhD and want to get it over in a shorter duration, you can apply if you have written the GATE. If you haven't written the GATE, you can still apply if you have a 4-year degree from a CFTI, as mentioned before, and you have a CGPA of 8 or more. Once again, the CFTIs are all the IITs, NITs, IISers, triple ITs, and some triple ITs in the public-private partnership. So these posters, again, have a wealth of information about the EECS research degree programs and have been put up on our social media handles. Please, again, just search for EECS IISc on X and LinkedIn, or simply Google it. I'm sure most of these will pop up for you. If you come to IISc, you will do cutting-edge research in our special research environment. For research snippets, visit this URL, eecs.iisc.ac.in. Here, you will see a recent breakthrough result in computational geometry from the CSA, a work on compressed sensing that won a Best Paper Award at the foremost venue for information theory by a student and her advisors from ECU, control of dual active bridge-based converters, a work done by a stellar student and his advisor in the EE department, and brain-inspired neuromorphic neural network for navigation from the EESC. You will also see how our spreading codes have made it to the NAV-IC L1 signal on ISRO satellites and much more. I encourage you to visit the webpage and learn more about our research and the programs here. Every admitted MTech or PhD student is given a scholarship at IISc. In addition, you will get an opportunity to win attractive fellowships like the PM Research Fellowship, called the PMRF, CPS Research Fellowship, etc. These are the companies that offer enhanced scholarships to students that join IISc. These can be from 1.5 times to 2 times the regular fellowship.
Yeah. Thanks, Osha. Now from here, I'll take over. So, as you know, IISc is in Bangalore, and Bangalore is an exciting place to be. From being the IT capital of India, it has now become the startup hub of India. And I think you would hear one news or another about every other startup from Bangalore. So there is a good chance that you may be a part of one of the exciting startups from IISc. We also have an incubation center for startups here at IISc. Here are a few that our students and faculty have started. Nimyek for endoscopy training, Simyog for EMI, EMC characterization, Kinome for knowledge graphs, Polymage for new generation domain-specific processors, Raghavera for Indian language technology solutions, and many more. EECS has deep connects with the industry and R&D labs. Here are the logos of a few. They support us, they work with us, they hire our graduates. On the research side, EECS is at the heart of several interdisciplinary initiatives: brain, computation and data science, network intelligence, cybersecurity, biomedical informatics, sensors, materials informatics, quantum technologies, visual analytics. If you come here, you will get an opportunity to work on one or more of these. We collaborate with researchers from across the world. Here are some of the states in the USA, some countries in Europe, some countries in Asia and Australia. And this is only a subset. Many of our students get a chance to present papers and or visit our collaborators and do internships in these countries. Here is EECS vision: to strive to be among the world's foremost clusters of electrical, electronics, and computer science researchers through pursuit of research excellence and promotion of innovation, by offering world-class education to train future leaders in EECS, and by contributing to and applying science and technology breakthroughs and know-how for societal needs. Learn more about us at our webpage eecs.isc.ac.in. Here are some pictures of our beautiful campus and our iconic main building. Go to the admissions.isc.ac.in on the internet and apply today. And you can see these pictures in the backgrounds of many of the volunteers also. So yeah, you have to follow this particular webpage or link to see the admission portal, where you can find most of the information about the programs and the eligibility criteria and so forth. And with this, I'll just conclude this presentation. On this picture, you will see on the top right something that signifies discovery, and on the bottom right, something that signifies invention and innovation. The discovery picture is a two-dimensional layer of carbon cut in one way, which leads to a significant increase in conductivity, which may revolutionize interconnects on chips. The other is a micro-engineered platform for antibiotic susceptibility testing and takes the laboratory to the patient. In our quest for excellence, we make the two coexist at IISc. I wish you a very informative session. Thank you for joining us today. I wish you all the very best. So with this, we'll conclude this presentation, and now we are open for questions. So, Varivasha, you can start with the questions. So everyone, I'll just request the participants to start posting their questions in the chat window, and then we can take them one by one. Varivasha, you can start with that.
Thank you. So I will begin reading the questions in the chronological order in which they were posted. So in specific cases when the questions are directed towards a particular department, I'll be asking the volunteer to answer, but please, the volunteers, feel free to answer even before I call you out. So the first question I see here is, this question is for the CSA/CDS department PhD course. Does academic gap matter, and does age matter for the selection?
I don't think your academic gap or age matters. I only think so. You should surely check out the eligibility page. But otherwise, if it is a usual age gap and a usual academic gap, I don't think it matters. And the thing that only matters is the your performance in the entry mode, whether it be GATE or GIST or CFTA or the other entry modes which you are applying for, and your performance in the interview once you clear the minimum required initial score. Yeah.
So the next question is, can aspirants with 400 to 500, I'm assuming this means rank, secure admission in MTech and IISc? If this is by an anonymous participant, I can't see the name, but if you'd like to clarify what your question is exactly, please do. I'll move on to the next question for now. Is IISc more about research or also placement oriented? Maybe like Ankush from the CSE department, could you take this up?
Yeah, can you repeat the question?
The question is IISc more about research or is it also placement oriented?
As per my information, I think you have to do a rigorous coursework. So mine is MTech coursework in computer science and engineering. And regarding placement, so there is a placement cycle which happens typically in second year, third semester, and fourth semester. So you will be able to apply for companies and get your placement. But yeah, that's a rigorous coursework. And for research oriented, I think you can join MTech research programs and PhD programs. For MTech coursework, I think it's slightly less.
Great, thank you. So another question we have is, how should I prepare for MTech CDS, AI and MTech research, or CSA or AI CDS interviews? Like, what topics should we prepare? Any advice that you guys have? Maybe Vaishnavi, could you take this up?
Yeah, so basically MTech AI CDS, usually all the departments send the syllabus before you get shortlisted for interview. Sorry, after you get shortlisted for interview, and they also give overview of what topics can be asked in the interview. So usually it's like you can prepare linear algebra and data structures and algorithms and probability theory, all these kind of normal topics which are important in research in these areas. And other than that, departments also inform you about the topics.
Okay, thank you. So another question is, hi, I'm expecting around an 800 to 900 GATE score, but I will be applying through mechanical engineering. I have a decent CV. What are my chances of getting into the MTech coursework program at CPS? I'm also interested in doing a dual major, maybe one major in India and one abroad after my master's here. So if anyone in this domain has anything to say, please do.
Okay, I will just me chip in here. So for this, like at CPS, yeah, since it's interdisciplinary, you will be eligible to apply with a degree in mechanical engineering. And here also you will be you might get shortlisted, and then you have to appear for an interview to get through the MTech program. And I think the chances are just based, like it will be a cumulative score based on your GATE score and how your interview is. About this dual degree and all, those are based on your preferences and that you can do. That's always be an option. But here, yeah, so that options will open and you can have maybe you may get a good recommendation and maybe build up on your resume to apply abroad after your master's. And I think it's a three-part question. So maybe the other two you can.
Right. So the next part of this question is, what startups are you working on? If anyone here is working on any startups, I'm very interested in the 4-axis arm at the Applied Stochastic Lab and the Stock 3 robot. I worked on robots similar to these for around 6 months last year. So does
Okay.
anyone have the expertise to take this up?
Great that okay, yeah, that's one of the labs in the CPS department, and but unfortunately no one from the lab has joined the meeting today. So certainly there are some startups, and I think even they are also collaborating with some companies. The Stock Lab is also collaborating with some of the industries and people. So definitely you can get an opportunity to work on things like that. I don't know what are the particular startups that are involved at ISC in this regard. But yeah, certainly there are opportunities, and people are working on quadrupeds and similar robots here at CPS. Okay,
The
you
next
have any
question.
tip? It's like just I think for the admission process. So I told you that as Vaishnavi just said that you will be informed about the interview process and everything before once you are shortlisted. So you just need to follow those instructions. And yeah, it will be general. It is just to test your basic knowledge in some of the main maths courses. So that is what will be a focus for something which is an interdisciplinary research department.
Okay, thank you. So one note for all of the people asking questions, thank you so much for sending in your questions, but I request you all not to send questions directly to me or any of the volunteers. Please send it to everyone so everyone gets a chance to see the questions. A lot of people might have the same questions as you, and I think it'll benefit everyone so we don't miss out on any question. But I will start with a few of the questions that have been sent to me. Have the hostel issues been resolved, and does the institute guarantee hostels to MTech students, especially males?
Any
I
MTech first
don't think.
year can answer this.
Okay, I'm not really sure if anyone here can like definitively answer this. Maybe it'd be best to reach out to some administrator at IISc or maybe like some direct senior that you may know or reach out to. I'm not really sure if we can in any way definitively answer until I think admissions are finalized. So the next question the same person has is, how will you describe what you do at CDS? To most of it, is it something not much heard of? Let's see, who do we have here from the CDS?
Okay. Hi. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Thank you.
Could you please repeat that question again? I'm not able to see that question in the Q&A box.
It was sent directly to me. The question is, how will you describe what you do at CDS? To most of us, it is an unheard department, and we are curious to know what it is.
Okay, so essentially to describe CDS, CDS is essentially an interdisciplinary department where you will find students coming from mechanical background as well, computer science background as well. And there are several different labs working in under the intersection of different domains. For example, talking about my lab, I'm currently working in the biomedical image analysis lab, which works under the intersection of computer vision and medical imaging. You will find other labs as well that are working under the domain of cloud computing, natural language processing, traditional computer vision, etc. So, in short, it's not related to a specific domain. It's more like an intersection, working under the intersection of multiple domain. It is an interdisciplinary branch. Yeah.
Great, thank you for that. Is GATE required for PhD admissions if they have an MTech from Tier 2 colleges? Ananta, do you know about this?
Avik, could you answer this?
Could you please repeat the question?
The question is GATE required for PhD admission if the student has an MTech from Tier 2 colleges?
I think not required. If you have MTech, then you get the interview call directly.
Okay, thank you. Next question we have is, can I know about the VLSI course from the DSE department? Which one to choose, MTech coursework or MTech research? Rather than that, what about the pros and cons of each, or like what is each program oriented towards? Can the volunteer from DSE please answer?
Yeah, hi. So basically, the VLSI, so in the Department of DESE, we have mainly three courses. One is the Electronic Product Design, Electronic Systems Design, and the VLSI. So that is microelectronics and VLSI. So MVLSI is usually offered as a like a joint course offered between the Department of ECE and ESE. So basically, the course program for MTech is roughly you have to take around, it's a bit hectic. Roughly, you have to take around 10 to 12 courses in your first year. And in the second year, you will be involved with a particular professor for the project work. Whereas if you see for the MTech research, there you have to complete around 12 credits, which is equivalent to around 4 courses as per the department norms. And post that, you will be directly working with your professor on the assigned research topic. Does that answer your question?
Let's hope it does answer the question. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Let's see. A student is asking what kind of past projects help in the admission process. If anyone in a particular department has anything to offer on that front, please do. Or look, I'll probably move on to a broader question. So quite a few students have this question. What is the interview process like, or like the whole admission process like for specific departments? So if it's all right with you guys, I'll probably go from department to department and just ask, what was your process like interview process like, or like any advice you can offer on that front? Can you maybe start with the CSA? Sriramji, could you please start?
Sure. So once you get an interview call, you'll be notified about the kind of topics in which you would be tested in the interview. So at the Department of CSA, it's usually a single interview of around somewhere between 30 minutes to 1.5 hours, depending upon how the interview is going. And one area of focus is usually how good the fundamentals are. So if you look at the kind of topics that will be shared, again, just to take a small detour, in the Department of CSA, there are three major streams. One is a theory stream, which deals with algorithms, cryptography, and so on. The other one is a systems stream, which deals with systems engineering. The other one is the intelligent systems, such as AI, ML, and so on. So each of these, so you are supposed to choose a particular stream before you interview. And the kind of topics that you will be tested on depends upon the stream that you choose. And in each of these streams, you'll be given around 4 to 5 options. There was a norm last year, like 4 to 5 topics, and you could choose 2 or 3 of them. And you'll be interviewed on 2 or 3 of those topics that you choose in the form that you'll be given before the interview. And these topics are usually fundamental topics, and the questions or the focus of the interview is also usually on how good your fundamentals is. Yeah, and there may be questions from your past experience or the projects or whatever you have put in your application or resume. But otherwise, this is how the overall structure in CSA was for me. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much, Sriramji. Next, let's see. We have Manal Shah from MTech Research Program from CDS. Could you please carry on?
Yeah, okay. So I believe the discussion was about having prior projects before coming for the interviews, right? Okay,
and
so
also, what was your process like, or like any advice you have regarding the interview process?
Yeah, sure. So I'll talk about my interview process for MTech research here at CDS department. So essentially, once you're shortlisted for the interview, the professors will call you in, and they will go through the resume that you have had submitted prior to your admission, right? So once you are given the lab, once you have submitted your lab preferences, based on your preferences, your faculties will ask you questions related to the topics that you will be working on. So if your lab does work around, let's say, in the domain of computer vision, it will be very helpful for you if you already have some good projects in your hand or some research publications. That will definitely give you an edge. But also note that it's not a mandatory thing. Having a good conceptual understanding is far more important than having those publications or projects. So the projects and your publications, they do showcase that you have a prior experience related to this field, and it will definitely give you an edge. But at the same time, I would like to iterate that having fundamental knowledge of the subjects related to the domain of the lab is very important. Yeah.
Varivasha, I just would like to add a small point to my answer before we go further. So whatever I described was for the research interviews, that is the MTech research or PhD interviews. But the MTech interviews might be a little different because I don't think you're supposed to choose a stream before you interview. Maybe Ankush can add a couple of sentences on that.
For MTech, it was purely based on GATE score in my case. I think interview was only for MTech research and PhD students.
All right, great. Thank you. So maybe next we can have Manoj from the CPS department talk about this.
Okay. So thank you. My interview process was a little different because I come as an external registration program candidate, sponsored candidate from my working environment. So typically here, we would find a problem statement in our work area from the company where we are working, and I approach the professors, different professors on their interest and also how it suits for our work. Once it is matched that okay, there are some suitable areas on this, then I did a application for IISc. I got an interview call. Then in the interview call, we discussed about the problem statement a bit more in detail and also some of my work experiences associated and how it correlates to this. Following this, we had, I think as Shriram mentioned, there were some discussions regarding the basics where there are some topics which are discussed like on the mathematics and some basic criteria which would be beneficial for the researcher to continue the curriculum here. The same concept of 2 or 3 topics where you'll have to select some of them, and the discussions will go on this with the panel who is available during the interview. I think this is the same concept altogether. It's just that for external registration program, you already have some problems defined that suits with your organization, and also the professor is interested to work on this. Great.
Great. Thank you so much, Manoj. Next, we have Nishant from the EE department. Could you please continue this?
Hi, yeah. So I interviewed in the departments of CSA, CDS, and EE back in August 2021. And I think the common theme, there was minor differences in the interviews, but the common theme was I had questions from linear algebra and probability that I think came in all the 3. CDS had a little more focus on deep learning. But the EE and CSA interviews were mainly on foundational ideas. So it was things that you would have anyways have required to have learned for GATE, and at a slightly deeper level. And the questions are, it's not so much about getting the right answer, it's about how you're thinking about the problem. So it would help if you're going to think out loud and let the interviewers know about your thought process.
Great, thank you so much. We have, I'm so sorry, the volunteers are all jumbled up on my screen. So if there's anybody else from any other department who would like to add on, please do.
Yes, I'm from EC Avik. So I can add up some more details on interviews for research programs at EC. So in EC, there are 6 area of works, main area of works: communication, signal processing and machine learning, networks and optimization, nanoelectronics and VLSI, RF circuits and electromagnetics, and integrated optics and photonics. So based on the area you are interested in, you can choose 2 of the following 5 fundamental topics. 1, calculus and differential equations. 2, matrix analysis and linear algebra. 3, Fourier, Laplace and Z transform. 4, probability theory. 5, discrete mathematics. So in my case, I selected probability theory and matrix analysis and linear algebra, and I was asked fundamental questions from these 2 topics, and this was same for at least these 2 topics are same in case of my interview at electrical engineering. And as Nishant said, in the interview at CDS, it was more machine learning and deep learning oriented rather than the fundamentals of mathematical topics. So this is very specifically this is for research interviews like MTech research and PhD. So for MTech interviews, maybe I don't think anyone from ECE MTech has joined. So yeah, that I cannot do.
So Mendra has joined. He can add to it.
Yeah, I can add a little about the MTech program. So in case of MTech program, I'll specifically talk about signal processing, but overall I'll talk about EC first. So in case of EC, process is first is interview after you got shortlisted by your gate score, and after that interview process is mainly based on the courses which are relevant to your MTech course. Like for EC, they mainly focus on the courses like communication and like engineering mathematics. They focus like they tend to ask in interview. And other than that, if you show some interest in interview, then they might ask about some digital or analog questions, but very basic which are related to gate, just to they just wanted to know whether how much do you know about your whatever you have studied in your gate. So that's all. And now about signal processing. So in that case, interview happened and they asked about signals and systems and engineering mathematics. And to be specific, metrics and this matrix theory and that linear algebra mainly. So that's all.
Thank you so much, Sumendra. Maunal, this question is for the CDS department. Is it possible to convert your MTech coursework to MTech research at the end of first or second year?
Yeah, okay. So the thing is, it's not possible to convert from MTech coursework to MTech research, although there is provision to convert from MTech coursework to PhD or from MTech research to PhD. But conversion from MTech to MTech research, it's not possible, at least in the CDS department.
Great, thank you. Another question was, how are the research opportunities in MTech TA, not MTech research? Does it become too hectic in TA to do research? Anyone want to take that up? All right, one more question. Sorry?
One of the MTech students can probably take that up.
Yeah. Ankush, could you give it a whirl?
Can you repeat the question?
The question is, how are the research opportunities in MTech TA, not research? And does it become too hectic in MTech TA to do research?
Not sure about that, but I have friends that did TA work. So their job was to typically check the tests that were given by students, and yeah, I think not much. TA work is fine. Along with research, yeah, I think yeah, it's not much. Okay.
Great, thank you so much.
I would like to add like little bit about this, whatever the last question was. See, in case of MTech, in ISC specifically, I'll talk about there is no load of TA work as I have seen for first year students. Mainly it is assigned in the second year. So you should not think about that you will get a lot of time wasted in doing TA duty. So you will not. So you can primarily focus on your courseworks, and other than that, if you want to do research and if you are interested, so you can do that with the help of your guide. There are some seniors of mine who are working on research works. So that all depends on your interest. If you show interest, then professor will also guide you according to that. So that's it.
Great, thank you. If a candidate has a few CVPR and ICACV workshops, will this give an advantage to the candidate to get into IAC?
Should I take this?
Yes, please. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. So again, the conferences that you mentioned are actually some top computer vision conferences, I believe. So if you're applying in the similar labs that are working in the computer vision domain, yeah, you will definitely get an edge. But I would say again, don't worry too much about it if you don't have any prior research experiences or workshop experiences before coming for the research interviews. Yes, but definitely if you have a good theoretical knowledge, a very good knowledge about what you had done in that research work, and even more importantly, if you are able to explain it well to the faculty who is actually taking your interview, yes, it will definitely help you in getting shortlisted for the research roles.
Thank you. Next question we have is the online MTech program by IISc considered equivalent to regular MTech programs by government organizations like ISRO. This is particular to the CDS department, the person that's asking. So, Manuel, could you please take it up? Oh, sorry, not. I'm so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So actually, the thing is, I'm not so sure about it because I haven't had any interaction with any MTech online student yet. But again, I'll ask somebody and definitely get back to you with an answer, probably.
Great, thank you. Next question is, I'm a biomedical engineering graduate and I have a good score in the GATE. Am I able to join any MTech course in the EECS with this eligibility?
Regarding this, it depends on which GATE exam you're writing. And if that particular GATE exam is there in the eligibility criteria for that department, then you can. Particularly in the interdisciplinary research departments, they sometimes allow more GATE exams than just few. So that is like one thing. If you're writing GATE, then you have to check that, but is that department considering that particular GATE exam score or not? And then the process will be the same. Then based on your score, you will be shortlisted for interview, and so on and so forth. For research interviews, again, you have to check the same criteria is there. So if you have not written GATE, then if you are from a CFTI institute, then that more than 8 CGPA criteria will first needs to be ascertained, and then only the things will continue.
Okay, thank you. And another student is asking, can you please show the page of scholarships which are offered by various companies from the presentation? Could you please put that up on the screen?
Yeah, sure. I'll reshare my screen again then. Just a minute.
Cool. Thank you. While Ananda shares that, there's another question. Are the placements the same for MTech AI and MTech research in AI at IISc?
I'm not
Maybe
sure
a
if there is
second year
a.
MTech could take this up. Yeah.
I'm not sure if there is an MTech AI research program at IISc. Someone can confirm that. That would be helpful.
I think on a general front, all placements do happen all together. Like I am a volunteer at OCAP. So from what I've seen at least, and please don't take me like word to word for this, all placements do happen very equivalently. There are like various departments and like specific courses that are kind of pooled together if they are working on the same like course, or if they have the same core courses or something like that. So like they are all pushed together. Like if a company comes for one particular department in this pool, OCAP ensures that all of the departments who have similar like core courses or similar coursework to this department are also like considered for that company. So I don't think there's any like segregation per se, like when it comes to departments and programs like this. But I'm sure you can like maybe drop a mail to the placement cell here and they'd be like happy to answer that particularly for you. Next question we have is, will we be given codes to write in DSA in the interviews, or will it just be a theoretical interview?
Okay. Maybe I think someone from CSA can take this up.
Yeah. Yeah, I can take this up. I don't think there'll be any part of code as part of the interview. So you're not expected to write any code in the computer as such, but there may be a possibility of you being asked to write a pseudocode. But I've not heard of any such instances here at IISc where students are asked to write code. But you may be asked to explain the algorithm, explain its complexity, or probably explain why the solution is right. So it's mostly theoretical in nature.
Okay, thank you. There are two questions I'm going to couple together. Is there any mode of admission for MTech programs at the EECS departments for students with low GATE scores or for students who have not written the GATE? And also for MTech AI online, is GATE required?
Okay. So for the first part, I think Vaishnavi, you can answer because your mode of entry is CFTI.
Yeah, so like you mentioned in the slide itself, if you have a CGPA of more than 8 and you are from any centrally funded technical institute, you can directly apply for research programs. I'm not sure about MTech coursework. I think last year it was started.
Yeah, they have started it recently.
Yeah. Also, like it depend the departments you can apply to, that will depend on the on your BTech background. So when you are filling form, you will be asked in which domain you have done your BTech. On that basis, your options will be limited for the MTech or MTech research or PhD program if you are applying for CFTI. Otherwise, if you are coming through GATE, you can the departments you can apply to, that depends only on the domain in which you have given the GATE.
What is the CGPA requirement for non-CFTI students?
Yeah, it's more than 8 only, but your GATE score is also taken into account.
So for non-CFTI people, it's not like they need to come via the GATE score. They can't use this CFTI non-GATE entry mode. That is exclusively for the people who are there from the CFTS, and the list of institutes that are considered CFTIs is mentioned on the admissions webpage of IISc. So you can look at that and just check it out, and is that your institute under that list or not? And regarding part 2 of this question, which is about the online MTech program. So the online MTech program is not like a regular MTech program. Here, the candidates there who get into that program are sponsored by their industries or the organization they are working in. So you can get the details on the webpage, but it's not like that come by an admission process kind of a thing. It's more like based on your organization, and then you can be a part of the MTech online program.
Okay, thank you. This is a question for the CDS students. Will we have CDS lab orientation sessions before deciding which labs to apply for, given that the deadline to fill this form, where you choose which lab you want to apply to, is nearby, like 23rd March?
Okay. So yes, you will have a basic orientation session that will be organized by the faculties of IISc, or either they will provide all the resources that you can go through to have a basic understanding of what kind of different research areas that particular lab is focusing on. So yes, for now, but those sessions will be conducted a couple of weeks before you are called for the interviews. Right. So I believe 23rd March is the last date for the submission of the admission form, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Or have you been already been asked to fill out the lab preferences?
I think the deadline to fill out these lab preferences is 23rd March.
Okay. So yes, they will actually conduct a session, if I'm not mistaken, because they did conduct a session last year as well when I was applying for MTech research over here. But in case if you still are concerned about it, I would request you to go through the website of CDS. They have a list of all the different labs, and each of the different labs, they also have their own web page where you can go and find out the different publications and the research topics that they will be focusing on. So you will get a better idea of what interview topics that you need to prepare for before coming for the interviews. Right. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, and I hope this also answers Nishchal's question, which is I'm a biotechnology student and have basic knowledge of programming. Am I eligible to apply for the MTech programs, so and so? Can I choose which lab I want to apply to? Yes, I'm sure you can. Let's see, one second. The next question we have is, if a student is from a CFTI but does not have an 8 CGPA and also couldn't clear the cutoff report of GATE by a small margin but has a very good research profile, can this person be shortlisted for the interview?
No, I think that's the basic criteria you need to satisfy. So if CGPA is not above 8 and GATE score is not there, then I don't think research profile will do anything.
Cool, thank you. The next question is, does the CDS department work on reinforcement learning and game theory?
Yeah, I believe we don't have any lab that is particularly focusing on reinforcement learning and game theory at the moment. So is there any lab in the the CSA department for the same?
Yes, we have lab in the CSA department for game theory and reinforcement learning, especially Professor Gugan Thope and for reinforcement learning, and Professor Nera Hari for game theory lab. Also, other professors are there. You can contact them during your stay here.
Sure. So if you are interested in those kind of research areas, I would suggest you to apply for MTech research in or any research related programs in CSA department instead of CDS.
And I believe even CPS has few reinforcement learning based
Yeah,
application?
CPS
Yeah.
also, there are two kind of things. So one is developing RL algorithms for robotics and all. So there is Talk Lab and Focus Lab. And some labs also work on theoretical side of RL. So you can look into that also.
Okay, thank you. Next question we have is to get an admission into MTech AI, or like I think in any like MTech degree, is it necessary for candidates to have done a formal course in programming in C and C++, as is mentioned on the IISc website? Vaishnavi, could you maybe answer this if you know?
Can you repeat the question?
The question is to get admission into MTech AI, is it necessary to have done a formal course in programming in C and C++, as this is mentioned on
Yeah,
the
I
IISc
think
website?
yeah, it will help. Obviously, it will help. But if you haven't done the coursework, but you know the programming, that will also work. So the point is, if you do well in interview, that will do all the time.
Great, thank you. I think this is a really important question next. Any tips on how to choose an advisor for MTech research or PhD so that our wavelength matches and our research experience is smooth?
Yeah, I can take that.
Yes,
So,
please.
For MTech research, for at least in my case, it was like once you get shortlisted for interview, you will be sent a document in which the professors have listed their research domains and what kind of projects they are involved in currently, and you'll be asked to fill a Google form in which you have to give your top 3 choices. On the basis of that, your interview panel will be decided, and then questions in that domain will be asked from you. And then that you are in MTech research, you are supposed to start your research work from first sem itself. And you also need to do the coursework within 1 year. So that's how guide is allotted to MTech research students.
Great, thank you. Another question is, if I apply for MTech coursework in CDS or AI and MTech research, multiple departments basically, will I be able to give interviews in all of these departments, or will I have to choose just one?
I'd like to take that because I've done that.
Yes.
Yeah, you can. So you can apply for interviews in all the departments, and you'll have to provide a preference though. So you'll have to give a preference list for admissions, and you'll get an offer letter based on the preference and your performance in the interviews.
Great, thank you. There's a direct question that Shankar Narayan would like to answer. Is there a direct PhD option for brain, computation, and data science? So Shankar Narayan, could you please take it up?
Yeah, so basically like brain computation and data science is like an interdisciplinary department as of now. And there are certain openings for PhD in that department also. Mostly you will be collaborating with the professors from one of the professors from EECS and one of the professors from CNS or CBS, Center for Brain Research. So there is an option for that. And that's because it's interdisciplinary, like the eligible eligible branches can apply for that if you have a valid GATE score.
Great, thank you. I think Avik, maybe you could take this up. Can you explain more on how to apply for a PhD if you have an MTech degree? And also, could you explain more about the external registration program and process? In addition to that, is there an online PhD option or a part-time PhD option available for everyone?
Okay.
Yes, I think Manoj can answer this ERP program better.
Great,
okay,
please
sure.
do.
Thank you. So as I said before, ERP program typically is where you're working in a company at least for 2 years or more, and you have a research idea or a research problem that you want to solve along with the university in this, right? So typically it involves several stages. One is you need to convince your company first of all, to fund you on the topic. Another is you need to find the right suitable interest, and which university would be interested to work on this, where there are some topics which is interesting, and also the professor's interest as well. So the process I went through is a little bit in detail. First, I try to isolate the problems that will be suitable for my organization. I try to convince my higher management, the leadership on this. Once that is done, then I had an opportunity to visit IAC a couple of times before. So I met a few professors. Then I went through their profiles and their work, which is done. I found some of them shortlisted, which are very suitable on this front. Their work which is very suitable and also closely related to these domains. Then I approached them with my ideas. Once we had a common understanding about this, then I applied for this. Considering both the places, it is important that in your organization, I mean in your company, if you're in ERP student, it is important that you need to have a supervisor in your company who has at least 2 years of postdoc experience, who can guide you as well, because most of the time you will be doing your research in your company. Only the coursework you'll be doing here. Following that, your research will be doing in your company, and also you will be in connect with your professor here in the university. So it's important that you have a research supervisor in your company as well, who has at least 2 years of postdoc experience. So these are the things you need to take care of. You would need a certificate from your company as well, that is okay to to provide the sponsorship, and an agreement from your professor as well that yes, it is approved inside. So these are a couple of things you need to take care. The details are available already in the IAC website, which is very much detailed in its course. So you just follow this and it will be of help. You need anything, I can help you out further.
Thanks so much, Manoj. The next question is for Shankar Narayanan. I'm not sure which one to choose among the 3 courses offered by the DASC. I'm actually drawn towards VLSI because that has more visibility. Can you throw some more light on this? And also, if we get MTech research, is it worth is it worth pursuing, and in special terms regarding the placement?
Okay, so I would like to answer the second part first, that if you get an MTech research and is it worth pursuing. So basically, with regards to placement, the conventional MTech and MTech research, both are considered to be equal only. So you once you are done with your research work and all, you will be able to sit for placements, and the system is same for all. And regarding to the courses that are offered from DESE, so we have MVLSI, ESE, Electronic Systems Engineering, and EPD. So the Electronic Systems Engineering and the Electronic Product Design, they mainly focus on building the system. So once you are done with, once you are coming to the end of your master's program, you will be asked to demonstrate a full working product. Like let's say you have some embedded based system or like FPGA based system, the whole end-to-end system needs to be demonstrated as per the requirement of this coursework. Whereas in MVLSI, it would be more towards the chip design side and what we say, the VLSI side of the things. So there you may or may not get a chance to tape out the chip. But whereas in terms of ESE and EPD, you actually have to showcase the working product at the end of your master's thesis.
Great, thank you. And in continuation to this, there's another question. What topics should one mainly prepare for apart from the fundamentals for a PhD interview in the EC department, specifically the VLSI?
Okay, so I think we missed out the electronic systems admission process basically for PhD and MTech research. So I would like to take some time on explaining that. So once you are shortlisted for this particular department, you will get a Google form where you will be you will be given a preferences to for 4 sub areas, and based on your research interests, like there will be in those sub areas there will be profiles of the professors mentioned who are working in this in the domain in their specific domain. So you will be asked to submit a statement of purpose, like okay, why do you want to pursue a PhD or MTech research under this in this topic, under this guide and all. So that you have to fill up. And once you come for the interview, the major thing that the focus is on is usually the fundamentals. But apart from the fundamentals, it is good to have a knowledge, some knowledge about the mathematics, linear algebra, and if you have some industry experience, then you can get questions based out of it. Like, let's say, because I had some prior experience working with the industry, so I got questions related to that. Like, let's say if I'm stuck, if I got a bug in this particular system, then how do I resolve it? So if you have prior projects and prior experiences, then it's really helpful, to set the interview flow.
Great, thank you so much. So here's a fun question that I'm going to answer, and anyone feel free to pitch in. How's the weather at IISc? I think in Bangalore, the weather is just unpredictable. Like, it can be very hot on random days. You have no clue. You never see the rain coming. If it rains, it could rain nonstop for 3 days. If it doesn't rain, it could be swelteringly hot for months together. It's very unpredictable. But I think all in all, you will have a good time. Bangalore's weather is in general better than weather in other states, like in other cities. So I mean, don't stress too much about that. But it's very unpredictable. So the next question we have is, can a CDS MTech student take courses from the CSA or any other department, and if possible and we like it, take a guide for their thesis from that department?
Okay, I'll take this. So yeah, the first part of the question, yes, you are free to take courses from CSA department, provided you complete the hardcore requirements in the CDS department. Yeah, and coming to the question of choosing a faculty advisor from CSA department, so far from what I have seen is I haven't seen anybody from CDS department going for lab or faculties from the CSA department. I believe it's not allowed as per the norms in the CDS department.
Great, thank you so much. Next question is, does IISc have mid-year admissions every year? Because I haven't seen a gate cutoff report for the years of 2023 and 2021. Do we have a mid-year admission this year?
Okay, I'll take this. So basically, the mid-year admissions are mainly for PhD admissions. They are not for MTech research and the MTech program, not the coursework program. It's only for PhD. And also last year it was there, but before that, the mid-year window was not open. Hopefully, it will be open this year, and if it is, it will be notified to you in due time.
Great, thank you. And on that note, I have to leave. I have a personal thing I have to attend right now. I request Ananta to please continue taking this Q&A session. Thank you guys so much.
Sure. Thank you, Varivasha. You had been a good host. Now I think we have only few questions left to answer. So I think there is one question, would GEST be accepted for MTech CSA research admissions this year since it's held in April? Yeah, Sriramji, may you answer this?
I'm not particularly sure about this year, but in the past 2 years, at least, GEST was accepted as a entry mode for the MTech research and PhD programs at CSA, and even CDS, if I'm not wrong. Apart from, I'm not sure about this year. I should probably check with the admissions office regarding this.
Yeah, that would be a better, because since I think the person mentioned it's being happening a little on a later time. Okay. Will electronic students be able to apply for MTech CS this year? This option was unavailable while filling the form. Ankush, can you answer this?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Since I think this option is not there, one important thing to do to check is that please check the eligibility criteria at the admissions website for the MTech CSA program. That do they even consider the electronics gate score? Like if you have a CSA gate score, then you can. And if not, then I'm not sure. So please check the eligibility criteria, like which gate exam is considered for that particular program to apply. This is specifically for CSA department. What is the scope of a PhD from IISc? Asking specifically for the computer science department. What opportunities do PhD students get after completion of the work? Okay. So they say that the employment scenario is not that great after PhD. So can you just want to answer this, Sriramji?
Sure. Yeah. I don't think I can answer this completely because I've not completed a PhD and I've not been in the market after completing a PhD. Sure. So there are two things that you can do after a PhD. One is continue in academia, do postdocs, and probably look for academia based position like a professorship, for example. Or you could join any industry labs that do research, or you could join the industry and do non-research jobs like software engineering and so on. So broadly, if you consider these options, I do not think the other options that are the industry options. It is always better to, I mean, like I don't think they close because you do a PhD. They're always open once you even after you complete a PhD. So in my understanding, you are as eligible as an MTech or a BTech student once you complete your PhD. But regarding the academic questions, I think you are more eligible to pursue with respect to those opportunities right now. So I don't see a big disadvantage of getting employed post a PhD. But sure, the current markets are really different, and with AI and with the revolution in AI right now, things are pretty unpredictable. But this has been the general trend in the past few years that I've been seeing.
Thanks, Sriramji. There is one question on how are the MTech in AI and CDS MTech coursework different? Monil, can you add to this?
Yeah, sure. So MTech in AI specifically focuses on AI, right? But as I said earlier, CDS is more of a interdisciplinary branch. Like although there is some degree of intersection between the courses of MTech AI and MTech in CDS, but although in MTech CDS you might have to take some courses that are related to those lab areas. For example, let's say if I'm working in the domain of medical imaging, I'll have to take some courses that are related to medical imaging in order to get a good grasp of the fundamentals that will be needed for the research or the project work. So again, it comes down to the professors that you will be working with in both MTech coursework or MTech research, and probably in PhD as well. So I hope that answers your question. So if you have any follow-up questions on that, you can put that in the Q&A.
First, I think that is covered also. There was one more question in the same regard that the coursework of MTech AI and MTech CDS looks very similar. Can someone explain the main difference between them and which roles each of these courses focus on? Examples like data scientist or applied scientist. So I think it's almost covered, but if you want to add something, you may.
Yeah, so even there are courses in the CDS department that revolve around linear algebra probability, similar to MTech in AI, right? But there are also some courses related to numerical methods, scalable systems, medical imaging, computer vision, NLP. So you might even one might easily think that okay, there is quite some intersection between the courses in MTech in CDS and MTech in AI. But yeah, it comes down to the labs that you will be joining in for your MTech thesis and MTech research work. So the faculties will ask you to take courses that are related to those research areas that you will be focusing in your lab. So that's how, in that sense, going deeper into the research work, that's how the courses differ in MTech in AI and MTech in CDS.
Thanks. So there's question on how about funding for PhD and what is the TA load on the PhD candidates? Avik, can you answer this?
Yeah, pay and TA load, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so pay, that depends. So the general MHRD fellowship is 35,000, I think, before 2 years, completion of 2 years, and 42,000 after that till fifth year. And depending on the fellowship you get, if you get something like PMRF or Google PhD fellowship or Microsoft, those those offer lucrative pay package above 80,000 as far as I know. And sorry, PMRF 70 to 80,000, and Google fellowship and Microsoft fellowship above 80. And there are some other fellowships which are between these two. So for example, in in EECS, there is one particular fellowship called CNI fellowship. They offer something in between 50 to 70. And yeah, so that depends on the, if you can arrange something if you can get some good fellowship, that's always better. And about TA load, so you have to do mandatory one TA-ship for like one course, that is 3-4 months. And after that, if you do some TA-ship in some other course, more than one, then you will get paid for it, as far as I know, like 10 or 12,000. And there are some other TA-ship opportunities for MTech online course. Like if you are a PhD student here, and you can do TA-ship for MTech online course, and there the pay is a little bit higher. I think 50,000 per semester. Yeah, so that's all.
Okay, so there is a question like if I get into MTech AI, do I get to do research work considering there is no MTech research program in AI? Directly contacting the professor with research interest is okay. So any MTech research, or maybe I can also answer this, but Monit, you can answer this.
Sorry, could you repeat that question again?
If I get into MTech AI, do I get to do research work considering there is no MTech research program in AI? Directly contacting the professor with research interest is okay.
Yeah, so once you get into MTech in AI, so there is this, you will be distributed in different departments. So once it comes to the selection of labs, you will have to reach out to the professors on your own, right? You will have to reach out to them, saying that, okay, you are interested in working under their supervision, joining their lab, you are interested in their kind of research work. And based on that, they will interview you probably, and then they will ask you to join the lab. So it is necessary to have a good what do we call, good understanding of the research area that they will be that they are working on. But again, if you are genuinely interested, you will be given an opportunity to work under their research areas.
So one important thing to note that in IISc, the MTech programs, the project is a very important part of their MTech program. So you have to do some research in it. It's not like that if there is not a specific research, MTech research program is not there, that doesn't mean that MTech AI doesn't have any research component in its uh, structure. So research is a part of every program at IISc. One is like this question is about I think how to reach out to the people, or like while you're hunting for the professor. So how to find out more information about the professor's nature or work method? Is it fine to ask about it directly to current and past students, other professors working in the same lab, or will it looked at negatively by the professor? Dipsa, would you like to answer this? Like it's part of the PhD mapping.
Yeah, sure. So, in my opinion, you can definitely reach out to the previous and current students. And as far as the professor is concerned, I think at least talking about my professor, he generally always encourages that you first interact with existing students before taking a decision. So, yeah, you are most welcome to do that.
I would like to add a couple of sentences here. I totally agree with Abhipsa, and it's a very valid question, and please speak to people, but it is also little subjective in some senses. There are other options as well. Like for example, there's an option to do a research assistantship with a professor that you are willing to join for a PhD. And there are also pre-doc programs. There is one program called Sparks, at least in CSA. Usually these RA-ship or pre-doc programs are unofficial, apart from the official program that called Sparks that is being offered by CSC. So you could like mail the professor and ask if you could work on a project with them for so and so duration, etc. So you get a hands-on experience about how working with them is like, how working on the topic is like before you make a decision. So this is another option that you can take up if you are afraid about committing to a PhD.
And there is a similar program in EC department, which is called EC Pre-Doc. There also you get a 1 year of internship kind of opportunity to work with one of the professors. That is like after your graduation, after your bachelor's, you can join that. You can apply for that program. So there is one question that can we request an external project thesis advisor from other institutes? Nishant, do you take this?
Sure. As far as I know, I think this is not possible unless you're an ERP or you're already coming in with a project and some source of funding. I don't think you can take on project thesis advisors from other institutes or from external organizations.
Yeah, but you can have collaborators with you, and then maybe one of the collaborators
Yes.
with your advisor, they can be there in your like you can thank them in your thesis, and they can be part of your publications. But officially, can someone from other institute be there? Is more on the academics side and can be better answered by the administration when once you are part of the institute. One is what is the process of choosing an MTech research project topic? Somendra, can you just briefly answer it?
Can you once repeat the question?
So the question is, what is the process of choosing an MTech research project topic?
Yeah, so MTech research project the choosing is more or like similar to PhD, but the thing is ki you can approach to professors if you want to, like particular professors you can approach if you have some interest or background related to that particular field. That is, I think, mainly the idea.
Yeah, so basically every department and all the professors give a list of projects that they will be floating for that particular semester or that particular cycle. And based on that, you can interact with the professors and then choose or give a preference list for your MTech project. And that is how, based on that preference, you are assigned a advisor and a project. That is how it works in most of the departments. And if it's a bit different in for any other department, you can just add to it. Okay, yeah, I think we have answered almost all the questions, and just last not on the end, like this is not a technical question or something related with the admissions. It is how are the tech events, seminars, hackathons at ISC. So regarding this, like I am part of IEEE ISC student branch, so I can just say that we regularly have such events and events like ISC for specifically for technical talks and all, you can see it happening on every other day. And even when there are so many there are so many seminars and even conferences happening in one or more department and ISC at a given point of time. So there's a lot going on in this regard in ISC. And regarding these hackathons and all, you are always welcome to attend such events. So it's all open, and then these kind of debates, like in this regard, ISC is quite like happening, at least like technically. So you can have a range of events in which you can participate. I think with this, we have answered most of the, like almost all the questions in our Q&A. And if there is any question that is like someone wants to ask last minute, they can just post it, drop it, else we will close this session. So let's just wait for 1 or 2 minutes because the time was 6:30. I think there is this question. So someone asked that what are the specific dates for written test for CDS and AI? So that I think we can't tell you exactly. That you will be notified by the institute only. So I understand your concern, but for that we can't, right? Like you can just drop a mail to them with your concerns, and I think they will answer. Okay, this is how to stay aligned with the latest AI models and techniques, rapidly evolving, of course, to ensure our projects are aligned with state of the art in MTech research. Vaishnavi, will you like to answer this?
Yeah, so I think most you get to know all these things frequently when you are doing the coursework. Professors usually help, and like coursework usually helps in this scenario. And you can also form a peer group in which you can discuss all these things, and you have similar interests, and you can start working on projects on your own. So yeah, that's I don't know.
Okay. There's one question. Can we work on our own thing, part-time job or startup, while doing MTech, provided I am giving my 100% to all my obligations at ISC, research or coursework? Any of the MTech would like to answer? Even MTech research is fine.
Yeah, sure. So actually, somebody asked me out on another question specifically to CDS in my private.
Okay.
So I was actually typing out an answer for them. So okay, so I'll take that question. Can we work on our own thing, part-time job, startup while doing MTech, provided I'm giving 100% to all my obligations at IISc? So I believe it's not possible. It's you are not allowed to take up a part-time job or work on your own startup while you are doing your MTech MTech coursework or research work here at IISc. In fact, specifically talking about CDS department, you are not even allowed to go for internships if you are an MTech research student.
Okay, yeah, thanks. So, but in some departments, you are allowed to go on internships if you're an MTech students or MTech research students. But yeah, it varies department to department. So regarding fellowship, you get fellowship for your CFTIs, and it's not exactly ensured. They are trying to get some funds. So about this, in the MTech program, the scenario for CFTI admission and the fellowship is a little bit unsure and tricky, so that you will get to know once you join, and that will be notified you to at the time of admission. Okay, I hope that answers. And with this, I think we have answered all the questions. And so thank you, everyone. Thank you, all the volunteers, for taking your time out.
Just a second, sorry
Okay,
to
yeah.
interrupt you. Apparently,
Yeah,
there
sure.
was this question for CDS department.
Okay.
So the question is, coming from CSID background, what should be additional things to know before choosing a lab? Because many of the labs are in applied areas, will we be expecting to know something in that area if I join the lab? What will be a suggestion for choosing? Okay, so the thing that helped me out for this question was you can visit the CDS lab pages there where they have given a very short description of the labs, and also along with that, what all fundamental topics that you will be needed to have knowledge of before coming for the interviews. So you can browse through that page. I'll share this link in the chat over here once I'm done answering. Go through that page. You will be given a list of the topics for each of the specific labs. Be well prepared for those topics, and I believe that should be fine for the interviews, for at least for the labs that you are selecting.
Yeah. Okay. I guess now we have answered almost all the questions, and I hope the participants will benefited with this interaction and most of their queries are answered with this. And even if this, like, you can always follow up on the EECS FAQs page for any of the queries. Many of the questions are answered in the past, and those are listed there. And also you can always follow, you can also look at the FAQ page of the admissions portal regarding eligibility and all. And also please go through the eligibility criteria properly while applying. That is well mentioned on the admissions portal. And with this, I think I wish you, and we all wish you all the best for your admission process. And I hope it goes smooth and we see many of you joining IISc in the upcoming semesters. And with this, I would like to thank you, the volunteers, also for taking out their time and volunteering for this event. And I hope this has been like really helpful for the people who will be joining. And thanks, and also thanks to the organizers, especially Dikshit and Gitanjali ma'am, for hosting and managing all this throughout. Thank you all. Thanks for joining. Let's close for today.